show where I try to educate real stories. Welcome to Truth and Justice with Vivian King. Tonight we talk to teenagers. I want to know what's on our teenagers' minds. There's a lot going on in the news. There's a lot going on in the high schools. There's a lot going on, period, in the world. And it's time for us to include our young teenagers, our young citizens who will be in charge in the next 20 years. So tonight I have three young men in the studio who've agreed to be bold enough and courageous enough to put their thoughts out in the stream of commerce. It's been so long since I've been a teenager, I forgot teenagers really like to talk amongst each other, but they don't really like to talk in public. They haven't gotten their confidence up yet, so let's encourage them to be confident and state their opinions, because all lives matter and all opinions matter, and they're our future. So we're going to talk about a few topics with the young people tonight. One of the things we're going to talk about is how minorities are treated and what their experiences are and what their friends' experiences are and what their fears are and how are they dealing with all of the police shootings. Do they get their news from ABC, NBC, CNN, MSNBC, CBS, or do they get their news from Twitter, Instagram? How are our children communicating, and how are we making sure that they get accurate information? So we're going to talk about how minorities are treated. We're going to talk about the information highway. We're going to talk about gay rights, same-sex marriage, and we're going to talk about teenage pregnancy or teenage parenting. So I have three people in the audience tonight, and I am going to go person by person. I have Mauricio Cantu, who's behind the scenes all the time. He's a future film producer, and so I'm going to call him my film co-producer for tonight because he gathered some of his teenage friends to come into the audience to speak their mind tonight. I have Jonathan Copeland, who's a senior at Pearland High School, and then I have Alan Fonseca, who graduated this year from Pearland High School. And so we're going to start off with something that's in the news all the time. Now, I get my news I could be their parent or grandparent, whichever one they choose. I get my news generally from MSNBC or the internet. When I turn my computer on, when I get into the office after court, my homepage is MSN because I've had an MSN email address since 1992, since we had to pay for them. And in fact, I still pay for it, and I don't think I'm supposed to be because I think they're all free now, but I've been paying $19.95 since 1992. So I'm getting dogged on that, I heard. But anyway.
You still look great for your age.
That's what the dinosaurs do. So we keep doing the same old thing until we become extinct. So anyway, so the first thing we're going to talk about, you've heard my opinion on how minorities are treated. I'm always outraged. But tonight I want to ask the kids. So Jonathan Copeland, you're a senior at Pearland High School.
Yes,
and you are a budding musician. You play the piano, guitar, and am I missing something?
I write lyrics, but...
And you write lyrics. And so you're just an artistic young man, and you're also a writer, and you help produce school plays. Is that correct?
Oh, no, it's our school show news program. It's called Orlavision.
Orlavision?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, perfect. So let's talk about this. So how do you get your news, first of all?
We watch the news a lot at my house.
Which station?
ABC 13.
Okay. And so what do you think about how minorities are being treated in the media and then just personally? In the media first.
In the media, they show it as there's a problem, but I've always questioned if it's real. How much of it is biased, and just how much of it is real. But
so tell me about the bias. What part do you think might be biased?
Well, say cops are killing black African Americans, but cops also kill and interrogate Hispanics, whites, but they play it up as to say it's a race problem. But is it really? And do they want to keep that stigma there? Will we ever get
and that tension? That tension.
You only you only see one part of.
Yeah.
So what do you? So you have, but you're not driving yet, right?
No, actually, my friend, she got 2 tickets consecutively, and she's white, and the first cop was a Hispanic, and she didn't look at him. She started crying, but just how she was like, oh my God, he's a pig and he's horrible.
She didn't say that to him, did she?
No, not to him, but like the thing she said afterwards, it was harsh.
But let me just ask you this: were you in the car with your white female friend the 2 times she got tickets?
Yes, both times.
Now, did the officers tell her to get out of the car?
No, never.
And that's the issue with adults, is that white kids are not told to get out of the car to be searched.
Oh.
That's the difference. Black and Hispanic, if you were driving, they would have asked you to get out and search the car. And if they found something, then the probable cause would have been your car smells like weed. So they back into it. So that's where the whites and blacks are treated differently.
Okay.
I've experienced.
She doesn't get pulled out of the car.
True, she didn't have her
She
license.
she didn't have a driver's license. See, a
Registration.
black kid that doesn't have a driver's license gets arrested for no driver's license. They go to jail. They get handcuffs put on them because it's illegal to drive without a driver's license. So then that's the discretion that a police officer can use. And so as a former prosecutor and defense lawyer for 20-something years, the only people that end up at the courthouse are black kids. So we're not saying that white kids don't get stopped and get tickets, but they just get tickets. They're not told to get out of the car and search the car, because you search most kids' car, you're going to find something. Because all kids do drugs, take pills, have something in their car they shouldn't have, driving without a license. I mean, just look at Sandra Bland. Sandra Bland was told to put out a cigarette and pulled out of her car. What did she do wrong? She had a driver's license. See how she was treated? How can your girl getting no driver's license was a ticket? She wasn't forced on the ground. She wasn't talked about ugly. And I mean, so do you understand?
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
what the difference is.
Yeah,
The
I see
difference is, and the reason why older young adults, older than y'all, and older people like me are saying Black Lives Matter is because we agree, and this is what white America doesn't understand. All lives matter. But we understand that the white lives matter, and we respect the way you treat white kids. We as black people I don't want you to treat white kids any differently. I just want black kids and Hispanic kids to be treated the same way. That's all I'm saying. So that's what the Black Lives Matter is about. It's not that white lives don't matter, Hispanic lives don't matter, Asian lives don't matter. It's a given that white lives matter. What we're saying is our lives matter too. And that's what the movement is about. It's not, so don't be tricked about it, okay? It's that the way your girl was treated, that's the way you should be treated when you start driving. But trust me, Jonathan, when you start driving with your hair sticking up like that and you being artistic and showing your artistic expression, you are not going to be treated like your white female friend is.
Oh, yeah.
And then you'll understand.
Okay.
But let's hope that never happens.
Yes.
Keep riding with her. Keep riding with her.
Yeah.
All right, Mauricio, it's your turn. So how do you get your media, news?
Mostly from friends. Well, my father, since he's an attorney, so most of my news comes from him. Since he's in with all the courthouses, he knows all.
He knows about crime.
He knows
keeps
about
up
the
with
crime. Yes, and so.
So what about Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat?
So a lot of it comes from.
I'm
lot of it
I'm not a yeah. A lot of
not
it
big
comes.
at it?
I'm not a big fan of it because I never really liked social media. It causes a lot of problems. Like even with friends, and then they'll see something and you get mad. So I just never try to deal with that. And I will delete it. So I never kept up with the social media.
But what about the news? Like say when Sandra Bland was found hanged in her cell, was that on your social media?
No, that was from my father.
That came from your father.
Yeah.
So what about you being stopped? You drive, you've had a lot of accidents, and you're just a senior at Pearland High School. I know that because I'm friends with your father.
Yes.
So I'm just saying, how have the police officers treated you in getting tickets?
Oh, easily quick pull me out the car.
You get pulled out of the car?
Yeah, I've gotten pulled out of the car a couple of times.
And how did that go? Like they stop you, come up to you and say you're speeding, may I have your ID?
No,
how does it work?
This one time, I was doing a video. It was a music video for my class, and I was helping a friend with her music video. And we went to this one building. It's an abandoned building, and I think it's very artistic because there's a lot of graffiti and it shows a lot of what it's been through. So I thought it was very strong for the video. And when we left the area, there's no signs that say it's trespass or do not. It's trespassing if you go in. So when we left, easily we got pulled over. And she's a minority as well. She's Asian though, and he never gave me a reason why he pulled me over. He said, "I saw you pulling out, and it smells like there's weed in the car." And we didn't smell like weed.
Right.
But of course, she did have some, but we didn't smell like it. And automatically, he's like, "Get out the car." And I was like, oh. I knew I didn't smell like it. I knew for a fact I didn't smell like it because I didn't deal with it.
Okay.
And then that's when he's like, "We're gonna start searching your car if you don't tell me if there's weed in the car." And then I was like, "No, I don't know if there's any." And he started automatically searching me. And
He didn't find anything?
yeah, he found it in her bag though.
But I'm just saying on you. Did he find anything?
No, not on me, but he still pulled me out the car.
And he pulled her out of the car?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
searched
pulled
her
her out.
car?
Yeah, first probably he searched my car, and it's an old Benz. It's a very old school car. And
Is this your daddy's old car?
Yeah, it's my dad's old car. And since I'm Hispanic, I figured that he just pulled me out real
But
quick.
where did they find the weed?
In the back seat in her purse.
So they went inside her purse?
Yeah.
Did she fight the case?
I'm not sure. I don't even think she got a ticket. I don't.
So he didn't do anything about the weed? What did he do?
Well, he gave me a ticket for paraphernalia and tobacco, and none of it was mine.
And what'd you do about it? Fought it?
Yeah, I didn't fight. I just pled guilty, paid for it.
Oh, really?
Took the easy way out. Yeah,
Why?
I should take a class.
Why?
Because I just
Didn't feel like fighting?
didn't feel like.
Your daddy does traffic tickets, so why didn't you deal with that?
I don't know. I just didn't want to.
Oh, okay. All right. But I mean, just look at the difference. Even though y'all got searched and you feel that was being treated unfairly, most minority kids get taken to jail. And they found the weed in her purse and they still didn't charge the Asian girl. So
Yeah.
you're actually being treated better than the black kids because the black kids go to jail.
Yeah.
They go straight to jail.
Yeah.
So even though I'm not saying that's not an imposition because he shouldn't have searched you at all.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it ratchets it up with each race. It seems like with
Yeah.
each area because they shouldn't have searched you at all. They don't search the white girl. They search you. They find the weed in the
bag.
Asian girl's purse, but yet they charge you, and they know the purse is not yours.
Yeah.
And so just think of how she's being treated. She's being, she's cute, she's sweet. A lot of white guys marry Asian girls, and so it's just they're not going to treat her badly. And remember, this is truth. We're gonna talk real talk in here. We're not gonna sugarcoat it. We're gonna speak the truth about it.
This is truth and justice.
This is truth and justice. All righty. So Alan Fonseca. So you're a little bit older than them because you did graduate already. So you're 1 year ahead of them. You graduated earlier this year in 2000.
I graduated with him.
Yeah, I graduated.
Yeah.
Oh, you graduated?
Yeah,
Oh,
he
I didn't know you graduated. I thought you was a senior.
No, I graduated this past year in June.
I don't know why I've been thinking you were a senior all the time. So what are you doing in life, Mauricio?
Oh well, I'm come here. I'm in school now.
Oh, so you're in
started
college?
College, yeah.
I didn't realize you were in college.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Freshman.
Where are you going to school?
I started at St. Jack.
Okay, I didn't realize that. I don't know why I thought you were still in school. All right, so I missed that, and I've been knowing him since he was before he was born. Anyway, so Alan, you graduated earlier this year, a few months ago, and you're working at Discount Tire. Proud of you. So tell me, where do you get your news from?
Most of the time, my girlfriend, because she's always like this, always on her phone, always on social media. And she goes, "Oh my God, did you hear about this, this, and that?" I feel like that's where like most of the news comes from. So, but
What is her method of social media?
she never gets off of it. I mean,
Is it like Twitter, Instagram?
Facebook and Instagram.
Facebook and Instagram. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the big ones right now.
Yeah.
Is she still in school or has
No,
she
she graduated too with us.
Okay. All right. So tell me, what do you think? You drive, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So how do you think minorities are treated differently on traffic stops based on your personal experience?
Honestly, I've never gotten treated like that. I mean, I've only gotten one ticket, and the guy was, he was real respectful. I was respectful back. But I think if a situation like that ever happens, I think just the main thing is just like stay respectful, just as much as you can. If it don't work, then it didn't work. But
Well, let me just give y'all some advice because I'm the senior person here. Always have your ID and insurance. If it's not your car, obviously you're not going to have insurance. But and also, just don't have any drugs in your car. You shouldn't be illegally searched. And one of the things you should pull for is young voting people. I hope you guys are registered to vote. Everybody needs to register. You want police officers that treat everybody the same. If you're going to pull the black and the Hispanic people out of the car, you need to pull the white kids out of the car, or pull nobody out of the car and just give them traffic tickets. Because if it's about traffic, do traffic.
That's what I got.
Don't lie about whether it smelled like marijuana or not. Because had they taken them to jail, they would have said they smelled the marijuana. That's what they do. And now that they have dash cams, they'll just say, I smell marijuana, so that's on the so that's recorded, even though they don't smell it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
They just
Because if they search and they don't find anything, you're not going to go to jail, so what they said is not going to be matter because no one's ever going to subpoena it to look at it, because it doesn't matter. So they just say it right away. So just make sure you never have anything like that at all.
Yeah, just don't mess with it.
Just don't have it in your car. You won't catch a case. Exactly. You won't catch a case. That's true. That's true. But based on what you see in social media, do you think all people are treated fairly, or do you think there's a difference depending on race or color of your skin?
I think sometimes I think that there can be, but like you said, on social media, they're always posting like negative stuff. Like it's always a white cop doing something to a Mexican or a black person. But also there's a lot of people who always say, like with black people or Mexicans, they think just because one acts like this, we all act like that, right? So, basically that's it for me.
You just kind of be open-minded about it. Okay, well, we talked about the minorities. That's good enough for you young people to have. And so you are 19, Alan, and how old are you, Mauricio?
18.
18, and Jonathan?
18.
18, okay.
Oh, another thing too, I heard from I don't know who told me this. I heard it one time, is like, why are people so focused on, all these white cops killing black people when like in different hoods every day there's black people killing black people.
Okay.
So they point that out a lot.
That is
too.
focused on. Black people are focused on that. But that's in our community, since a lot of times the cops don't solve those murders.
Right.
So black people in our communities, in our churches, because churches are still very segregated, it's discussed a lot. It's just not where the media is.
That's right.
When I go to my black churches, it's discussed all the time. Love, conflict resolution, dealing with people getting out of prison, dealing with those conflicts. So a lot of gangbangers who are doing it don't go to church, so they're not there.
Right.
But that's a social problem that black people deal with. We deal with that. But we're not paying taxes as a black American. It's my age. I graduated from college in 1980. Okay, so before y'all were ever born or thought about, I paid taxes to a police officer to fairly uphold the law. I pay his salary. I'm a taxpayer. I've paid a lot of taxes through the years. Okay, I don't pay the gangbangers taxes. People who, if you shoot Mauricio shoots you, that's just a Cain and Abel situation from the Bible, because people have been killing each other since the beginning of time. Right. But I don't pay your salary, and I don't pay your salary, but I care about you as young people. That's one problem. But the problem we're dealing with, and the reason why the media is being unfair, is because there are a lot of black people and Hispanic people paying taxes. Mauricio, their daddy pays a lot of taxes, and he's paid a lot of taxes through the years. Okay, I know him personally. I don't know y'all's parents. You have a single mother. I know she's paid a lot of taxes. She has the right to be protected by law enforcement for those people that she pays their salary, just like the white girl that drove your car. Her parents are paying their salaries too. Mm-hmm. And that's the accountability factor that black people are fussing about, and you won't hear the media talk about. We're all paying taxes. I've paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes. Right. So does that mean my daughter's supposed to be treated different? No. By the officer that I'm paying? No. Excuse me. A slip. That I'm paying? Yeah. That I'm freaking paying? Is that supposed to happen? I don't think so. So that's the issue.
It's funny because the white kids even know too, because this one time I was riding with a friend, and he's like, because he was doing a pickup actually, and I just happened to be in that situation. Right. And he was like, don't worry about it. I'm a white kid. It's all right, I'm not going to get it. We're not going to be dealt with. He actually told me that.
The white kid is telling you, I'm doing a pickup of some drugs. You can ride with me because I'm not going to be bothered because I'm white.
He's like, I'm a rich white kid. You don't have to worry about it. We're not going to get pulled over.
They know that. Have you had white friends say that?
Actually, that's interesting. The other day, I met this kid who's also from Colorado. And I didn't know, being born there, I didn't know that there was racism until I moved here. But I thought everyone was like that in Colorado. But then he's here in Texas now, and he said, yeah, I feel very privileged as a white person. And they feel it. They
know it. And see, that's what the issue is with older black people is we call it white privilege. And so instead of us saying white privilege, Black Lives Matter, that probably should be the first part of it. We understand there's white privilege. I mean, black professionals say, well, that's theirs, that's white privilege. You know, we understand that. And that's why we don't have to say it. We ain't mad at you for having it. We just want to be treated fairly. We understand that, I understand as a black American, I am not going to get privilege. I am not going to get favor. I'm going to have to work like a dog for everything I get. I understand that. I accept my role. I accept the challenge. But I want my children to be treated fairly. I want you children to be treated fairly.
Said.
I pay the taxes. I know my white lawyer girlfriend is going to be given all the court appointments. I know the judge is going to give them favor. I know the DAs, they're all friends. They live in the same neighborhood, so they're going to give them favor. I understand that. So I have to do it the hard way. Go to trial and whoop a little ass. You know, I understand that. That's what I have to do. I accept my challenge as a trailblazer, but what I am not going to shut up about is the salaries that I pay. You're going to treat my kids differently. I don't pay cops to punish my child because she has brown skin, okay? And that's what we have to, as black Americans, have to focus on. And if you hear talking heads, if you kids, since y'all are all in film and production and the media, if you ever get a chance to ask someone white, then ask those questions, because they're not going to answer those questions. We understand there's white privilege. We accept that. We respect that. But what we want to do is we want to be treated the same way. Why is it, if you get to interview someone, a sheriff or a police officer, why is it that my white girlfriend cannot have a driver's license, but then my black friend is going to be taken out of the car whether he has his license or paperwork at all? That's what you need to understand, and that's the focus.
And it's sad, you know, yeah, we coming from different, like there could be lower class and higher class. And It doesn't matter whether you're in high class and still a minority. You can still be treated different.
You can be.
You see where I come, you know my
Yeah, I
father,
know where you come from, right.
And I still get treated differently.
You
just
still get
because
treated the same way, even
doesn't
though
matter
you're
what
from a
type of
higher
class,
class.
yeah.
And the thing is this, understand this, young people and viewers, I'm not saying all white people are like that. Half of my friends are white and Hispanic. At least half, maybe more than half, to be honest with you, are white and Hispanic. So don't ever get that twisted. I have a lot of white friends, and a lot. I'm from San Antonio. It's only 5% black. So, I mean, you know, most of my friends are Hispanic. Most of my friends was Hispanic growing up. So I feel like a black Mexican. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, because I identify with my friends. You know, you identify with your friends. So, and that's another thing, like, when black people like me speak out, people want to just say, oh, she's reverse racist, or she's that. But they don't realize, like I said, half my friends, just like your friends, I have white friends that know that if I'm riding with them, even at my age, if I'm riding with them, I know if I'm riding with a white female friend my age and we get stopped, I know they're not going to bother her for drunk driving. They're not going to First of all, I've never been with one of my white friends that's been stopped. Girlfriends. I've been with black female friends that get stopped when I'm riding, but not the white ones. So they understand they have white privilege, and they understand what we're talking about when we say Black Lives Matter. So one of the things, maybe if y'all repeat that hashtag, you should say white privilege, Black Lives Matter too, but not to degrade them, because like what minorities want to do is just be treated fairly, and that's what we try to. I don't think that some of the catchphrases capture the fact that I don't mind that young white girl not getting pulled out of her car. I'm just saying if you're gonna just give her a ticket, just write the black kids a ticket.
Yeah.
See, but officers have to report quotas. They have to show they're doing stuff. And if they have to choose who they're going to take out of the car, they're not going to take somebody out of the car that looks like them. Because they have to choose who. They got to arrest some people. You see what I'm saying? And so we're asking them. I'm asking, treat all kids the same.
Yeah.
Because if you pull everybody out the car, black, white, or Hispanic, or Asian, you're going to find just as much weed. You're going to find just as many prescribed pills that they shouldn't have. You're going to find the same thing, just like your Asian girlfriend had weed in her purse. And so, but she still didn't get charged with it. They charged you with paraphernalia. But had you been black, they might have taken you to jail for possession of marijuana. And then the black people person that's the poorest has to try to hire a lawyer that they can't afford. And most lawyers are going to make them take deferred adjudication because they don't want to go to trial. But I'm not that kind of lawyer. I'm going to take it to trial. I don't let kids do that. So that's my take on it.
I mean, we all look different, but I mean, you cut my skin, cut your skin, we all bleed the same.
Right. And we all pay taxes the same. And so we have to, that's what I need to, y'all not paying a lot of taxes yet, but you're getting a check at Discount Tire. They're taking taxes out. And you're paying city taxes. Your city taxes go to law enforcement, okay? Your federal taxes through grants go to law enforcement. So everybody's paying taxes, even when you pay tax when you buy dinner tonight, or if you buy clothes at the store, those taxes that you're paying are going to your governments.
I know.
Okay.
Just like my back pay child support is going to the government.
Right, it's all going to the government. So you understand that. So learn to put that as part of the storyline. Okay, don't just be simple like the Black Lives Matter. Add to the discussion, white lives matter. We love you, our white brothers and sisters, but we want to be treated like you, since we pay taxes like you. Now, if you're not going to protect us, then stop charging us taxes then. Let me stop paying. If I want to be treated like an animal, let me stop paying. That's what I want to do. All right, so let's talk about the gay rights. So what's big in the media this year is the United States Supreme Court has said that under the Equal Protection Clause that everybody should have the equal right to marry. And the significant part about my gay friends, my age group, is there was a time, even with the older ones, older than me, and I'm in my 50s, so the ones older than me, they had to say, like, if two of you guys are together, when you died, your stuff went to your family. When he died, it went to his family. But you could adopt him, so then he's your natural kid, even though he's your lover, so that he will naturally inherit from you, because most people don't make wills. And so a lot of the same sex wanting to be married is they want the protection that the government gives. If you and I are married and you die, everything goes to me naturally, or to your children that are biological, okay? And so that's what this is all about. Even with children, if you have we'll talk about that when we get to children. But it goes naturally. So when gay couples were together, it's going to go back to his family, who he might not even be speaking to, because they might hate him because he's gay. You know what I mean? And that's where it's going, not naturally to that person unless they made a will. And most people die without wills. Most people don't make wills. And so that's part of it. And if, say, like you live with, you, Jonathan, if you live with someone from 18 to 58, and one of you gets sick, and one has been paying into the system all your life, insurance, you couldn't be on that person's health insurance. If you just want to be in the arts, and your lover is the one that has the real job, that has the insurance is paid for, you couldn't be on his insurance. So you don't have insurance, okay? So the issue with the gay rights was because if you and I are married, heterosexual, and like two, man and woman married, if I have insurance and you're the artistic one, then you get to naturally be on my insurance because you're my spouse. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
and so that's what the real argument is. We want the same privileges under the law. And it's only recognized through the law. Because I can get married in Jamaica. There's be no record here. I got married once in Jamaica. And there's no record here unless we tell the government that we're married. And so we can get those governmental protections because it won't be in the records in the United States. So I know that's a long story. That'll make sense to you one day. But that's the significance of same-sex marriage, is so that the system that we live in recognizes it for all purposes, that you can inherit from the other person naturally, even if because a lot of times, say like firemen or firefighters, they might be 30 years old and die in a fire crash. So who is their next of kin if they have a gay lover, but they can't recognize them under the law? It's going to go to their families and not the person. They might be buying them a house together. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so that's what it's all about. If you and someone are buying a house together and they just die unexpectedly in a car wreck at 18, but yet they had a life insurance policy for their job, it's going to go to their families, the next of kin, instead of you. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so, but being more basic and teenagerish, tell me what you think about same-sex marriages and the position of teenagers who are gay.
Shows that America is becoming more accepting. Actually, something I was talking about earlier. Remember when Craig from Newsfix came to Orlavision last year? He's on a show called Newsfix, and he started Orlavision in '97, I believe it was. And we showed him an episode, and I did a cover on our Gay Straight Alliance banquet, and he cried because he was like 13 years ago. We wouldn't be able to produce anything like that. Yeah. Because people were being bullied in the hallways for being gay.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you openly gay at school?
Yes, ma'am.
And so how did you find the courage to do that?
One night I realized that this is who I am and I can't change it. I'm not going to continue to hide it.
And so how old were you then?
I remember it was 15, I believe. I think it was freshman year. I remember I came out. It was after Thanksgiving break.
Okay.
I remember.
So what were the thoughts that were going through your head before you came out?
A lot of pressure. I thought people cared. I I don't think I thought it was. I think I just cared too much what other people thought. And then when I came out, you realize no one cares at all.
Well, what about your mother? Did your mother already know, or did you have to come out to your mother also?
That's a funny thing. I had a conversation with my father, and he knew it before my mom did. And he,
Are they still together?
no.
Okay.
And he told her, and she didn't believe it. So he knew, and he made me play football and everything. I didn't really like that lifestyle, but then I told her. She said she thought I was confused, but since then I mean I've always known.
Okay. But so your mother's accepting now?
Oh yeah, very, very.
Now, is your father local, or is he still in Colorado?
He's still in Colorado, but we saw him in July.
And how long have you lived in Texas?
Since 7th grade, it's been 5 years. 5 years.
All right. Do you have any other siblings?
Yes, I have a twin sister. I have 3 older brothers and an older sister.
So what about the twin sister? Has she always known? Or do y'all share secrets? Or?
Yeah. She's. I know my brother Michael. He knew. I actually talked to him a while ago, and I thanked him because when I was younger, probably 9 and just hitting puberty, he sometimes catch me. Not tease me, just comfort me, like just say it's all right. Cause it was just like very like.
Is he older?
Yeah, he's in the Air Force now. He's stationed in Germany. But I really appreciate that. And now that I'm older, I'm happy that the people who supported me when I was younger, if they weren't that supportive, I wouldn't be able to be free and open. So I have a very loving family. I love them to death.
Okay. So how are you bullied at school?
Oh no, none at all. That's the thing. It's how you hold yourself and how you present yourself. Because if I present myself as like as a scared homosexual, then you're gonna get bullied. But if you just have confidence in yourself, it's gonna.
So you're
be
not
all right.
scared?
No, I wish that, because I know there's other gay people at school. Just be yourself. No one cares. It's who you are. Odds aren't against you. It's just who you are.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. So how do you feel, Mauricio, about having a gay black friend? So that's 2 minorities, I guess. I don't know. I'm confused. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. But Mauricio, tell me how you are heterosexual, right?
Yes.
Okay, so no, I don't know. I don't care. I just want y'all to have love and live this life. But I'm just saying. So how do you feel having a homosexual friend?
I mean, it's just as another friend like Alan. He's heterosexual as well, and I treat him the same way. They're still my friends. I don't see them as a different person. They think different.
Right.
And everybody thinks different. Everybody has their own opinions. Everybody has their own mind.
And so you're not teased for having a gay friend?
No, I'm not teased.
Because when we were growing up, people didn't admit they were gay. You know, like you kind of thought that girl looked like, back in the day they did something. They called ugly names like bulldagger. That's what they used to call the girls.
Oh.
And I don't know if y'all even heard that phrase before, but they called the gay guys punks. But anyway, this is the 70s. And so, but no one really act like it. I mean, people you could tell that they act a little sweet. That's what they would say, sweet, I guess, for the guys too. They say punk or sweet. And, but people didn't mess with the guys because they feel like those guys would beat you up. Like they were to be gay in the 70s, you had to be a fighter, a scrapper. So you didn't really bully them because they beat your butt.
I know some gay people who fight.
Yeah, they could fight. So, and the girls were just conflicted. You could see it. And back then in the 70s, everybody had a prom date except those gay girls. They didn't. They didn't. They always just looked big and sad. I don't. I'm just telling you what they look like. So they just looked big and sad. I felt sorry for them. They just looked big and sad. And the guys, I can't even remember who was gay. I just knew gay guys in the neighborhood, but not at school. So it was a different time. People wouldn't come out. They were really closeted. Let's put it that way. Men just lived their lives forever single. And you just knew something was weird. In the neighborhood, if it was like a 50-year-old man and, he just never had anybody and always lived with his mother. So everybody said, he's probably sweet. But, nobody really said anything to him. And he always, had a respectable date like a cousin if he went somewhere. That kind of girlfriend that's just a really friend. But nobody, it was almost like the don't ask, don't tell era.
Yeah.
And they were bisexual people in the late 70s with the free love, but they still...
Open to anything?
Yeah, open to anything, but that was in college. But then when it came down to growing up, they picked a side. If they picked the gay side, you didn't really know it. If they picked the heterosexual side, then they got married or whatever, but you knew that they were kind of...
Exploring,
because it was like what's that artist's name? Andy Warhol days. There was orgies were popular in the 70s and, But it was experimental, the flower children that lived naked. But it was more like the flower children. But you would grow up and get out of that phase.
Type of
That was like a hippie thing. Yeah, so hippies could go both ways, but that was just reserved for that commune or that that park that was a nudist camp. You know what I mean? It was just those people were different anyway, so you really just didn't hang out
They
with
still
them.
have nudist camps?
Huh?
Never heard of a nudist camp
They
before.
used to have nudist camps in the 60s and 70s. I don't know if they yeah, I think they still have them in certain places like California.
Oh, okay.
I think there's one in Texas. I think there's one in Texas. But anyway, so Alan, how do you feel about having gay friends?
Like he said, just having it's like having a regular friend. And I feel like if that's what makes you happy, then do it.
Okay. And there's no so what about when there's bi-curious? So do y'all have friends that y'all think are bi-curious?
I have mostly girls. I don't know about guys, but mostly girls that are
Girls can be
bi-curious.
bi-curious.
Very bi-curious.
Do they talk about it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're open with it.
Very open
Very
with
open.
it. Yeah.
Interesting.
They'll tell when.
What about with you? Since you are openly gay, so what about the bi-curious guys? Do they come to you and whispers like, nobody knows that I'm bi-curious, but I am? I'm not asking you to call names. I'm just
No,
curious.
but it's interesting. I've always felt like I could be able to tell. Like if you have an attraction to someone, I can be attracted to a straight guy, but he's gay, but just leading a little double life.
Oh yeah.
But
So we call that gaydar.
the gaydar. Yeah, that's something I've struggled with since freshman year. It's like something I try not to acknowledge. I've got very spiritual. You have to
Well, especially in the controlled environment you're in for school. Once you get out, you can be more free to choose your friends, the people you hang out with, and you still have to have structure and not disrespect people, but
Right.
you have more freedom when you're out of high school.
Okay, I have yet to experience that freedom, but I'm looking forward to it.
That's a good way of saying it. Okay, so let's talk about teenage parenting. We have Alan, who is 19 and the father of 2 beautiful daughters. I haven't seen them, but if they're as cute as you are handsome, I'm sure they're beautiful little kids. And Alan had his first child at 14 years old, and now he's 19, and he's had a second daughter. So tell us about the struggles of a male teenage father.
Oh, being 14 and having.
How did that happen? Oh my God! I mean, how did you tell your parents? How did you
I
tell her?
didn't. The story is.
Who did you live with when you were
I
14?
was living with my mom. I remember one day I was out, just throwing the football around, and my stepdad came around the corner, and he was like, "I need you to come to the house." So, we walk back to the house, and I look, and I notice her mom's car parked in my driveway.
You said this cannot be good.
Yeah, I'm like, man, what's going on? So I walk in. They're sitting on the couch, and she has ultrasound pictures in her hand, saying she's 6 months pregnant.
6 months?
Yeah.
Oh my God! No turning back.
No turning back.
What did you do? Like cry, freak out,
I did.
run out the house?
I cared more about what my mom thought because I grew up. My mom raised me by herself basically, and I was just worried about her more than anything, like her feelings, and she was not okay with it.
Your mother was not okay? How did she react?
She was.
When you
angry.
walked in, was she angry,
she
crying?
was real
What was she
angry.
doing?
Yeah.
Cussing
I
like
cried
that?
with her because you don't like seeing your mom like that. And
Aw.
so she didn't want me to be mom didn't want me to have no part of it. She sent me to Arizona to go live with my dad to just stay away from.
For how long?
About a month and a half. I tried it with my dad. I didn't like it. I wanted to go back home. I knew that I wanted to be there. It was the right thing to do. So I talked to her for a long time, but
Talk to your mother?
yeah, I finally got her to come around. I feel like she was in denial. That's what it was. I mean, my son's 14. He's having a baby. It's a lot to grasp. So I mean, she finally came around, and she loves her to death.
So when you came back, was the young lady still pregnant when you came back after that year?
I was there for the birth. Actually, I was there for the birth before she sent me.
Okay.
So when she found out I was there, she was furious, and she sent me to go live with my dad.
Was it for like the summertime or school season?
Basically, the summertime, you could say it was that.
So when the baby was born, did she insist on DNA?
My mom insisted.
That's what I mean. The mom.
Yeah.
I would have if it was my
Yeah, we did. So she's
So
mine.
at 15, so you were still 14 when you had DNA?
I was 14 when she got pregnant, and I had just turned 15 when she had the baby.
And how old was the young lady?
She was 13.
She was 13. Oh my God, 13 and 14. So how old was she when she had the baby?
I think she was 14. Yeah.
Wow, wow. So how old is your baby now?
My oldest is 5.
She's 5. Wow. So tell me how a 14-year-old had a baby with a 15-year-old and DNA. So do your parents have to sign for the DNA? How'd y'all get DNA
Well, I mean, we're the
done?
parents. I mean, we signed for it. I mean, and
Did you put yourself on child support? I'm just saying, where did y'all get DNA?
no, our moms were with us, but
Where'd y'all go?
we were here.
I mean, to the Attorney General's
yeah.
office? You went to a lab?
That's
Or
where
how'd
it
you
was.
do it?
At the Attorney General's. They do it there.
So both parents went, took the kids and said, we're going to go get child support and DNA.
Well, she wanted child support.
Right.
I feel like she didn't want it. I feel like that's what her
Right. Her mother's
mom
gonna make you be
wanted.
responsible.
Yeah. I mean, but then again, I was 15 years old. How
You can't work at
I can't
15.
work. I'm going
What
to
do they
school.
do? I mean, what do they? I mean, so once the baby came back to be yours, which you probably knew it was going to be yours.
Yeah.
And then once it came back to be yours, what do they do? They order child support on a 15-year-old?
They do, and it just added up to back pay. I mean, that's
Wow. But I mean, it's the
Oh,
minimum, right, of
back
150
pay?
or something.
yeah.
Yeah, it just
No,
accrues.
that
It
back
accrues.
pay
So
added
you don't have
up.
no job.
Since she was born, the back.
Well, how
pay
much was it per month? 150?
For something.
How can they give you four something when you don't even have a job?
That's
and you're
how
in
much
high
it
school?
was. It's been the same since now. It's still the same for about $450 a month.
So you got to pay $450 plus the payment plan of the back child support.
I pay $103 in back pay. I pay $90 in back Medicaid. I pay her Medicaid and then the child support.
Damn, you learned your lesson early, didn't you?
Yeah.
And then you had the nerve to have another baby with a different girl, with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
So how did that happen? I mean, I know how it happened. I'm saying,
It happened.
how were you not cautious enough to say, shoot, I'm a young man paying all this money, or owing money?
I mean, the way it happened is she was on birth control,
okay,
right?
Well, that's appropriate.
Yeah.
So it was really an accident.
I guess she got off. Well, she wasn't supposed to be able to get pregnant. Supposedly in the beginning, like she's. not
Everybody can get
supposed-
pregnant.
Yeah. Well,
Y'all need to know this. Everybody can get pregnant, okay?
there was something with her ovaries or something that was supposedly.
But when you're young,
yeah.
you're real fertile.
Yeah,
And
that's what the
it
doctor
just-
says. They're very
people are so
fertile.
fertile. You can say you can't have, but if you're both the same age, y'all 19, anything from 19 to 30, you can just get pregnant. So don't even,
Yeah.
even on birth control, you can get pregnant. So
Yeah. If you don't keep up with it, you definitely can.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. So, but you're still together with this girl.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, does your first baby's mama have? Did she have any more kids? The third-
She actually had another daughter too. She had her second one before I had mine.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, why wasn't she on birth control? You're not in her business.
Oh, I'm not in her business. She's got she deals her.
She already has two. So both of y'all have two kids. Y'all started early. Okay.
They get out early once you start early.
Huh?
I'm just playing.
What?
They get out early once you start early.
They do. They do. They do. So, and you ain't through yet because you haven't had a son.
Oh, I'm done.
And
I
you're just
don't know about
19.
all that.
And you're just 19. So do you have to pay child support for the second one yet?
No, because
Well,
we're
when you start-
together.
but when y'all start paying for that second one, honey, she's gonna file child support on you eventually.
I said the same thing. I
But
tell
y'all
her.
not
I
gonna
tell
go-
her that all the
y'all
time.
not gonna be together
Yeah,
forever.
I said the same thing, but she's like, I wouldn't do that because she says she sees how her dad struggled and how my dad struggles. She said,
But
like,
let me check this out.
I know,
She's gonna do it.
I know she.
And the
is.
thing is, just think of how bad that back child support is gonna be on you.
Gotta deal with it.
You might as well just put yourself on child support now. That first one, it'll go down. The total might just be 400. I mean, it's not gonna go up because it still has to be a percentage of your income.
It does.
Yeah, it still has to be a percentage of your
Yeah.
income. So it'll probably go down because 400 is too much. You should have been paying the minimum. I'm doing a divorce right now for one of my my carpenter, and we're just kind of bartering, and he's agreeing to pay like $250 a month, and he makes a lot of money. But that's all his
Child
ex-wife.
support is hard to make you work, but I mean, those are your kids. You gotta do what you gotta
Oh,
do.
you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta do it. But 400 is too much for a single guy. I don't know anything about divorce. I just have
Yeah.
one thing, but
Yeah,
that's too much for a
400 is a
single.
lot for
It
a
is.
I mean, because
Yeah,
you should have
yeah.
been minimal. Somebody messed over you on that.
Maybe. I mean, then again, I'm still, I'm working all these hours. I'm trying to provide for my second one, and then I got start school in second semester. But
Be careful, but you can do it. It's doable. It's
Yeah.
doable. You can do it. So, what do you think, Jonathan, about him being a teenage parent? He's being very responsible. I must commend you on being very responsible,
you.
Alan, and working and saying they're my kids. That's a very mature attitude for a 19-year-old. So, what do you think about that, Jonathan?
It's shocking and makes me have to be gay.
You don't have to worry about that part.
Yeah, I have to worry about other things though, but
You do have to worry about other things.
that is shocking.
That's all you can say. What about you, Mauricio?
Oh, he's a great father. Yeah, he's one of my best friends, and man, he's a very responsible guy. He loves his kids to death, and I can't ask for that. That's a good father right there.
That is a good father. But you young people should
Oh, but
consider birth control.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Like male birth control, not just girl birth
Just
control.
male birth
Or
I
just-
know it's a hassle, but you need to consider male birth control, like condoms.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
If you learn to use them at this age, it's not that big of a deal. If you start off without using them, then it is kind of harder to use them. But I'm talking about you, Alan.
I mean, I use them sometimes.
No, you got to use them all the time because you can have babies. I mean, you're not married. Even when you're married, people use condoms because they don't want no more kids.
They do have other forms of male birth male.
I wouldn't
birth
take
control.
no pills.
No pills. They actually have it's a clamp that they,
Ow.
and it's an incision they do. It's like not
never heard
not
of
necessarily a vasectomy, but it's a clamp they put in there.
Oh, really?
So, yes, ma'am.
You should have researched
Oh,
that.
I'm looked into it.
Well, let me just give you a story. My brother was in the Air Force, who's in his 50s also. He's younger than me, but before he had 2 kids out of wedlock like you with 2 baby mamas. By the time he got ready to get married, he was in his late 30s. He was like, I'm getting my tubes tied. I mean, vasectomy.
Yeah.
It's like, I ain't having no more kids. The woman he married had a kid, wasn't his, and he was like, I am not doing this. He said, no, because before I know it, I'll have another kid. And although he has 2 girls, I've always wanted a boy. I'll be paying child support for the rest of my life.
Kids
He
are
said,
very
I'll never have
expensive.
fun.
Yeah,
I'll never have any fun. He's like, I'm marrying her because I love her, but not because we need to have more kids.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't want.
My brother
I'm satisfied. I'm happy with the 2 I got.
Right.
Girls in general are expensive.
I mean, they're
So
very expensive.
yeah. So.
But try to concentrate on the love and not all the materialism that girls are
Yeah.
caught up in. You know, they don't know designer stuff at this age, so just buy them cheap stuff. I mean, the kids
I
don't know
tell that to
difference.
her mom.
I mean,
The
that's
second
right.
one.
You do what you want
whoo.
to do. But for everything you're doing for that second one, you better keep the receipts. Because you're going to child support court at one point. You better have you a thing that say 2015, another. You need to get one of those monthly things. Everything you spend on her, you keep the receipt because you're gonna have to. You need some offsets. That's gonna offset what they, because otherwise they're gonna give you from the day she was born.
Yeah, that's what they did with the first one.
They're gonna do it with that one
Yeah.
too. They're gonna do it with that one too. I'm gonna ask somebody about family law. I think it's a lawyer in your daddy's office that does family law, Gallega. He need to find out for him because Richard Gallega. Because I believe that with 2 kids, based on his income, it's only a percentage, and it'll have to be split between those 2 kids. It's a formula. It's not like nothing real hard. It's in the family code table based on your income.
Yeah.
So
I just want to hurry up and go to school and go to college already. But I'm waiting now. I'm trying to save up money. I'll start school in January.
and then what you gonna do with all that child support? Just let it accrue?
No, I'm gonna pay. That's why I'm working right now.
Right, but
I'm
you need
gonna
to be
pay
paying
as
the
much-
right amount. So that's what I'm saying. You need to be paying the right amount. So anyway, we have 15 minutes, and I need to find out what else we can talk about. So we've talked about a little of police mistreatment. The police brutality can be kind of isolated. How do you guys feel about voting? So have you registered to vote yet, Jonathan?
No, I have not.
Why not?
I hate politics.
Okay. Well, can you do me a favor by going online and registering to vote?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all you have to do is say, you live in Brazoria County?
Yes.
Brazoria County voter registration. Just look that up.
Okay. Okay.
And you can download the voter registration card and send it in.
Okay.
You need to do that. Let me tell you why politics is so ugly and dirty. Because the rich people know that no matter how rich they are, they only have what? One vote. The same as you do. And so they make it so that it's distasteful, so that you won't vote, so they can keep ruling the world in the wrong ways. And one of the things I'm a big advocate of is as you kids start voting, you can make marijuana legal, just like it is in other states. But if we have the same 70-year-old people in our Texas legislature in Austin, then they won't, because they can keep arresting people with that bullcorn probable cause that the car smell like weed. But what if weed is legal?
What if I got an air scent that smells like weed?
Your car's gonna get torn up every time you get stopped. Your car's gonna get torn up. Wait a minute, they're gonna cut the seats and tear it up, and you're gonna be crying, Miss
What if I
King,
have
what can we
it
do about it?
just hanging from the rearview mirror and it's just in the shape of a marijuana plant? It's just hanging. It smells. I mean,
see,
I don't mess with it.
I know, so you can tease like that, but you're
Yeah.
going to be inviting it to happen. So your one vote matters. That's why there's so much involved with politics, because the government, let's just, for example, let me just tell you a fact. The city of Houston is the biggest employer in Houston. So when people are running for mayor and city council people, it's because they control all the big government contracts. And so they're paying millions to companies who are getting rich off of the city, but you still only have one vote to vote for that. And everybody just has one vote. And the people with money are influencing the vote because that's just the city. So with the federal government, the biggest part is government contracts to Halliburton, and when there's war and when they go over there. So they only have one vote, just like you. So if they can keep the minorities, especially the Hispanic community, because y'all outnumber the black community, to vote, keep y'all to keep not voting, that's what they want. If young people can keep saying, oh, I don't care about politics, those people gonna do what they pee. No, those people are you now. Y'all are 18. But if you don't vote, the ones at the top will keep this bullcorn going on, because all they're trying to do is control the money. You always follow the money. If it's a big stink about it, it's all about money. Okay?
Yeah, always.
It's always about money. But you can't do that. You've got to make your vote count. Okay? Register to vote. Have you registered yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm going to do that.
Okay. All right.
I don't think I ever vote. Since I was 18, I don't vote. I don't know. I can't stand politics. I don't even want nothing to do with it. I know. I probably should. I just don't.
How can I convince you to vote?
I don't know. If it makes you feel better, I'll go vote.
It'll make me feel better.
All right.
And it'll make me feel better because you will influence policy someday. You could be the politician someday. I know you hate it, but you hate it because you don't respect or know your leaders. You don't understand how government works. If y'all go to court, y'all think the judge is controlling it. The judge doesn't control the courthouse, but you don't know that because you're ignorant to the system. The DAs control the courthouse. Judges are the referee. It's like a football player. It's like saying the referee is the referee is two people playing and the referee decides to play. The judge doesn't make the decisions. The DAs do. The DAs accept charges when the police officers pull you over. The DAs make the plea bargain recommendation. The judge just reads it at the top, but it's an agreement between the lawyer and the prosecutor. So the prosecutor, who is the DA, makes the decisions. The judge is the referee to say, do you plead guilty because you are guilty and for no other reason? And the reason why they want to know is, did your lawyer make you do something you didn't want to do and you really want to exercise your constitutional right to a trial? So the judge is the gatekeeper. So they're just reading what the lawyers have already decided. The judge, if I wanted to say, judge, give me this, the judge will say, I can't do that. I can't plea bargain. That's not the judge's role. But you don't know that because you don't vote and you don't read. You understand that? So like 90% of the people I know think the judge makes the decision.
And it gives you a voice. Because if you don't vote, then
if you don't vote, you can't learn. And at least having it gives you the right to learn. And you've got to learn that. You need to know when you go to court that the DA makes the decision. So then you know that you have to vote for the proper DA. And y'all can get on Twitter and Instagram and say, what is this DA's stance? If you vote for mayor, the mayor is in every city is the one who, once the mayor is elected, the mayor appoints the police chief. So if you get the right mayor, I'm real involved in our mayoral race because I want a mayor that I can say what I'm saying to you. If you're going to stop the black kids and search them, stop the white kids and search them, or make them stop searching people unless there's real probable cause, just give them tickets. I want to be able to say that to the next person. So I'm very involved. I've given a fundraiser for my choice as mayor. He might not win, but I picked a horse and I'm riding it. You understand? Because I want to say that for you. It's not for me. They don't mess with old black women.
Yeah.
They just mess with young ones. You know what I mean? So I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for you. But you got to do it for you. Yeah. And your kids, your daughters. You don't want them to be mistreated.
Oh, no, nigga, no.
And you can't just pick up a gun and kill them because then they don't have daddy. So you got to exercise your rights to vote. You need to understand on social media who makes the decisions. And you don't know that. You're going to go by guessing or what someone else misinforms you to say because you don't understand it.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Just like in Colorado, they voted to make marijuana legal. That means those people in Colorado voted. Our legislators who can do the same thing are in Austin. But they're old, mean Republicans that won't do it. But we can change that. You can be a nice Republican and do it. I'm not saying there's just people it's been the same old way. It's been the same people there for 50 years till they die. And that's not right. You guys right now can be our state representative at 18. You don't have to be a lawyer. All you have to do is you can be a lawmaker. And you need to know that the people who make the laws, in the judiciary, they enforce the law, and then the sheriff executes the sentence. It's a separation of powers doctrine. So you could tell your legislator, if you vote, you can tell them, I want marijuana to be legal, or I want this to happen. But you can't do it if you don't vote.
I don't really care
I want our tax dollars, huh?
I don't really care for the whole marijuana thing, to be honest.
You don't care, but you care about child support. They vote on those laws.
Yeah, they do, but...
I mean, you ought to want them not to be able to charge somebody if both of the kids are children and their parents are still taking care of both of them until they're 18. They shouldn't even start it until you're 18 because you're not old enough to work at 15. You can't get a job at 15. So who's made that stupid law? That's a law that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Should fight against that.
It shouldn't be there. But that could be changed next legislative session. They could say, 18-year-old, you have to be 18 to pay child support from this moment on after you're in your parents' jurisdiction.
Yeah, you can't even get a serious job till you're...
But you can't even get a job at 15 legally, can you? I mean, you.
I couldn't even get a job at 16, 17. I'm still going to school 7 till, 3 in the afternoon, and I'm going home and I'm doing homework trying to get through school.
Right,
That's what I'm
to
trying to
pass.
That's the main
Absolutely.
thing.
That's retarded. So the parents have to be, that one has to be on the parents.
Can't make no money if I don't have no education to do anything.
Right, exactly. How you going to make money? And you can't. You don't have a car. You can't do anything. So that don't even make sense. That's just some old fuddy-duddy that wrote that, and that's just the way it is. It doesn't even make any sense. But laws should make sense. And y'all have to be the people who make those laws make sense.
Yeah, we are the next generation to come.
You are the generation right now.
this
You are 18.
generation is-
This
generation.
All right, so we have 4 minutes, and I want to just talk about the last topic. We don't have much time, but how do you feel about, Jonathan, how do you feel about the immigration war? Do you have a feeling? You don't have to have any feelings, but how do you feel about immigration and people who are here illegally and the big fight and fuss in the media? How do you feel about that? I'll give you some stimulation. As far when I learned, and it might have been the wrong history books growing up in San Antonio, but Texas was Mexico. Yeah. So I have no problems with Mexicans coming across because I think that people just drew this imaginary line and said, you get on this side and this is now ours. So I don't have a problem with people coming back working. I think they should be legal. I think there should be, you can just sign up and be a citizen coming from Mexico. That's what I think.
Okay, yeah, that's reasonable. That's reasonable, but the ones who aren't documented that are in the country, how many of them are in the country? But
that's what I'm saying. But why can't they come here? What kids don't.
We're supposed to be the land of the free, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, the Constitution wasn't for Americans. Remember, they just stolen the land. I mean, they were still working under British rule. Okay, so they weren't American citizens. They were British citizens that wrote the Constitution. So the Constitution wasn't written for citizens. Constitution was written so everybody would be included. It wasn't for citizens because remember, those people were British and Irish, and they were doing the Boston Tea Party to say their Big Mama, we're not going to keep paying taxes if we can't vote, taxation without representation. It makes sense as you get older and you understand. So those are the people who wrote the Constitution.
I don't think what they're going to realize.
People weren't citizens. The Native Americans this is their land.
I don't think what they realize, most of the people that do the building
and the construction are Hispanics.
They realize it, but they just don't think your life matters.
Yeah, they're cheap.
No, they know it. Oh. That life doesn't matter.
But then once they kick them all out, who's gonna do it?
They're not gonna kick them out. They're just saying that for the mean-spirited people who are the people who are mean-spirited who vote. Labor. They're just saying that we're gonna be mean and keep everything white privilege. That's a code word. All that's code.
Yeah.
The people who are saying it understand who's doing the work.
Yeah,
but it's code for the it's code for the whites that vote. That's code language. We're all still the superior race, right? So it's code language. They don't mean that. It's code. The same ones are saying they probably have Hispanic people working there, black people working at their houses, Yeah. So it's code. Understand that. They don't mean it. They don't mean that's code word. Vote for me because I'm like you, a white supremacist.
Yeah, and those Hispanics are...
and I shouldn't say white supremacist. White privilege. That's what I'm trying to say. Not supremacist. I'm using the wrong term. I'm keeping the privilege among us, right? It's a code. And everybody else wants inclusion, right? So we're saying that's a code for exclusion. They know it'll never happen. There's too many minorities here. There's too many people with connections here. And everybody was brought in. They can't say it to us because we were drug here, right?
It feels like population control, basically. Like not letting them come over. That's what it feels like.
It's code. It's code. We have 1 minute. Let's sum it up. So what have you enjoyed tonight about being on the show? Jonathan?
Being in the presence of you. How about that?
Oh, I take that. All right, Mauricio. Mauricio's in my presence every week behind the scenes, so he can't say that. So Mauricio, have you faced your fear in speaking on camera instead of behind the cameras?
Yeah, I love being here. I love being here. This is my first time ever being actually on camera, and this is a great experience. But I would have to say, you taught me a lot just during this 1 hour, and I really appreciate that, and having me to come and bring people so we can talk about the teenager problems going on.
So do you think y'all would come back and let's talk about it some more?
Yes, of course.
Okay, and tell me what you learned tonight, Alan.
I feel good just to talk, conversate, and you're a strong woman. Very strong woman.
No, I'm just not that.
But
I'm really a punk.
I appreciate.
You can make me cry if you want me to.
I do appreciate everything and having us, having me and us on this show.
So do you think you'd come back?
I would. I most definitely would come back.
Okay, because I think this is relevant, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
And so I'm going to give you all tapes when this is over. I want you to put this on your social media, stimulate conversation among your age group, and maybe when y'all get on break, maybe in December, not you two, but maybe we can come back and talk again. Is that good?
That sounds
Create
good.
some new topics, or the same topics with a different twist?
Can.
Thank you for watching Truth and Justice with Vivian King. I appreciate you watching, tuning in, listening to our future, our next generation, our 18 and 19-year-olds talk about things that are relevant to them. They're relevant to me. I want to tell your stories. So whenever you want to be on, you're welcome to. Thank you for watching Truth and Justice with Vivian King. Good night. Thank you for tuning in again. Tonight we have something really good, a hot topic in the news this week. He's been charged with crime. This is a show where I try to educate.